Purple Daily is daily Vikings entertainment. We just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die.
I will ride with this group.
Seriously, man. Please.
And away we go.
All right, good morning and happy Thor's Day on a Friday. He's back after a 2-day travel fiasco early in the week, fighting through East Coast blizzards and ice storms. He went to the Senior Bowl in Mobile. You can find a lot of Thor's Senior Bowl and Vikings prospect-related mining on Thor Talks Purple. So we're going to get your thoughts on, as the Vikings look to make their team better, and getting good young players in the door is something that they've struggled with. So we'll get your observations as we kick off that part of the offseason here. We'll do a 7-round mock. We also have an interesting email from the Purple Daily Anonymous tip line that we can get to. But Judd, let's start the show here at Quick Trip on this Feedback Friday. We might sprinkle in some of that too.
That sounds like a wonderful idea. And we started at Quick Trip because Quick Trip has all of the options that we want, including, you know what, the $7 lunch combo. That's right. You're driving to work and you forgot your lunch and you're like, what am I going to eat for lunch? Well, Sports Dad to the rescue to tell you you're going to go to Quick Trip and get the $7 lunch combo. Now, what does that entail? A quarter-pound cheeseburger, maybe a spicy chicken sandwich, or a bacon double cheeseburger, wedges, perhaps mac and cheese, perhaps mashed potatoes, a great side, mashed potatoes, a fantastic side. Any size Big Buddy or coffee, that's right, Quick Trip's got what you need, including outside, the quality gasoline guarantee. It's cold outside. Do not let that car get near E. Boys and girls, you want that tank full, and you want to fill it up at Quick Trip.
Thor, what's going on, man? How are we feeling after watching the future of the NFL at the Senior Bowl this week?
We're feeling great. Yeah, we had a good time down in Mobile. Always a fun time down at the Senior Bowl. Learned a lot of stuff. Got to talk to a lot of interesting people. Got to see some interesting prospects on the field. Some guys that there was a few guys there I'd never even seen before. They were blowing our socks off. That Division III wide receiver from John Carroll was out there putting on a show. But yeah, we had a great time down there.
We're going to get pretty early in this episode. We're going to go through a 7-round mock, and then later on we'll get to a Purple Daily Anonymous tip line thing here. But Kwesi was down there and observing, and I'm assuming other people from the Vikings organization. So, like, from a Vikings perspective, what are some of the important things you observed on the ground and even talking to people at the Senior Bowl this week as they look to... They got to add a couple, at least 2 or 3 key starting caliber players, I think, here, or it could be problematic.
Yeah, Vikings are going to have to destroy this draft here in April for the front office members to keep their jobs. They have 8-9 picks in the draft. We'll see, depending on the way that the comp formula ends up coming out. But this is a crucially important draft for an administration that has not drafted well to this point. I think that this might be their last shot. And so, yeah, they were down there on the field and they were observing quite closely.
O'Connell there as well?
I didn't see O'Connell.
Okay,
because we did see Kwesi out there.
Yeah, I saw that. But I was going to guess it was scouts and coaches as well. So what position did you think, and Thor, more importantly, to the Vikings' needs? Did any position group in particular stand out? Because the one good thing is they have so many needs that the old BPA thing of, oh, you passed on the BPA to take a position of need, that should not be a problem here, because your needs are so wide that you can basically say the BPA and a position of need are going to sync up perfectly at the 18th pick.
100%. The ones that I would point to, defensive line would be the big one from the Senior Bowl. Senior Bowl had a really good class of defensive linemen, and we know that the Vikings are going to be looking at that position pretty early in the draft. The guy that kept knocking our socks off there was Lee Hunter, the Texas Tech interior defensive lineman, 6'3". He weighed in at 320 pounds at the event, played at 330 last year at Texas Tech. Big fellow with really light feet. And I had to smile because he started getting comped down there to a guy very familiar to Vikings fans. And I kind of like this comp. There's a lot of Pat Williams in the game of Lee Hunter. the big fella, again, with the really, really light feet, can get into the backfield, can help you against the run. But Lee Hunter, very, very impressive. And again, a guy that the Vikings could look at potentially in the first round. Another guy at that position I had to shout out because he got back on the field after missing most of last season. Caleb Banks from Florida, 6'6", 335 pounds. This guy has over an 85-inch wingspan, Caleb Banks, and he's a really good athlete. He had to come out and prove this pre-draft process that he is healthy, again, after missing most of last season, but he was awesome on the field in 2024, and he looked really, really good reacclimating back out there on the field. He was bowling over interior offensive linemen. So I think probably the interior defensive line class is the one for the Vikings that they were probably looking at the closest. But you had some really good linebackers there. Jacob Rodriguez might open the Vikings' eyes as well. Lee Hunter's collegiate teammate, and then at Texas Tech. And then one other position I wanted to mention that I of interest for the Vikings is the center position. We already thought the center position was like starting to shape out as like solid based on what we knew of it coming into the process. Like after we got Connor Liu's declaration, we knew that Brian Parker from Duke was going to be trying out at center during the process. We figured Trey Zune from Texas A&M, 2 collegiate tackles, that they were going to be added to the center class. In Mobile, we got even more guys that are sort of throwing their hat in the ring of potential centers. I talked with 2 of them down there. Keelan Rutledge from Georgia Tech. He was an outstanding right guard for Georgia Tech. He was snapping down there at the Senior Bowl, wants to prove that he can play center at the next level. And then Cage Casey, the outstanding Boise State left tackle. He is also, he was working out at guard at the Senior Bowl, and he told me that at Boise State's Pro Day event that Cage Casey intends to try out at center. Jennings Dunker as well, my boy, the Colossus right tackle from Iowa that I have just assumed. Do you see my picture with him? And
no, but I saw. But that dude is awesome looking.
He was on a like he jumped on like the NFL Network coverage or something, and he was like trying to make himself a little smaller next to the TV guys. Like, no, dude, you're a house.
He's so nice. He has like the long red mullet hair, down to his shoulders, whatever. He's got the facial hair, like he's just got the whole thing. But he's just like a nice, like kind of goofy guy or whatever. But he was working out at guard here. He also said that he intends to start snapping the ball as well during the pre-draft process and try to show that he also could play center. So the Vikings, a team looking for center help, you now have a whole bunch more prospects in this class that are sort of trying to get in to prove that they can play center for those center needy teams in the draft.
So do you think then if there's some decent center depth in this draft, are there any players you think could jump in and potentially, if they have a good camp, compete for like a day? Because they do have an opening for a day 1, week 1 starting center, assuming that they part ways with Ryan Kelly in some form. Is there anyone on the radar that could literally just jump right in, do you think?
Yeah, the thing where there's like with the quarterbacks, it's like there isn't enough quarterbacks this offseason to fill all the starting spots. With centers, there's almost more centers in this class, and then Tyler Linderbaum leading the free agent charge. More supply than demand, right? And so the Vikings are this position. I think is they're going to be able to check it off the list at an acceptable cost this offseason because of this. But in the draft class, the guys that I would put in that category: Connor Liu for sure, Brian Parker the second from Duke. I'm pretty comfortable saying he'll be able to start on the interior early. Jake Slaughter from Florida, I would put in that. I would also put Logan Jones from Iowa. So at least 4. And then when you start talking about the position converts, I would probably toss, and Brian Parker's a position convert as well, but I'd toss Trey Zune on that. I might toss Keelan Rutledge into that. Rutledge is a top 10 guard in this class. So, I mean, top 5, 6 center if he can prove that he can do that. So we'd already be up to 6 then. And then if Jennings Dunker can prove he can do it as well, and Cage Casey can prove he can do it as well, now we could potentially be up to 8 centers in this class that could play really, really early. And again, in free agency, you have some guys as well.
So hold on a second here. So if we are putting together our big board right now with this information, where do you? So if I'm the GM and you're advising me because you are the college scouting director, where could we get a center round-wise who could potentially play year one? Because like what you don't want is the Garrett Bradbury, God bless him, he's going to the Super Bowl, but you don't want that, oh my God, we got to get a center, let's just pull the trigger in round one. What are you telling me as far as where we could get a viable starting center at a round that is much more a better place, I guess? Much more
like
appropriate.
For the value of the player on the board at that position.
Correct.
Yeah, for me right now, of course, we're 3 months away from the draft, but right here from our 3,000-foot view into the future, I would say one of the two third-round picks that the Vikings have, right? You have the first, you have the second, you have 2/3. Take a break in the fourth right now as far as the pick allotment, and then you get back at it in the fifth. Because of the center depth in this class, what did I toss out 7-8 names there? There's going to be an attractive guy at that position available to you in the third round, potentially even your second, third round pick. And for people that are like an immediate start center, late third round comp pick, they're not going to be available. Last year, Jared Wilson went right before where the Vikings picked, and it broke my heart. So I mean, and that was the comp pick, right?
Was that the third round? What was that? Was that the
Ty
Felton situation?
That was the one where then they traded down 5 spots to.
Where does that rank among all-time Thor heartbreakers? Like just in life, like just in life, like things that have gone. It's like I remember Jared Wilson.
Yeah, it's more one that sticks under my craw as opposed to one where I'm just like sort of transferred subconsciously into the room and it's like a trauma I'm playing out. This one's more like, it's like, when you eat popcorn, or actually in the airport, this is why it's so topical. I love eating the popcorn on the airplane sometimes, and then it gets stuck in your teeth. It's like that kind of a feeling. That's the annoyance level of the Watson Wilson miss for me, is like a kernel of popcorn stuck in the tooth.
It's not football trauma. It's somewhere beneath that.
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. Enough of this football foreplay here, boys. Let's get into it.
I want a mock.
Let's get into it. Let's pull up the PFF mock draft simulator here, and let me see here. Declan's off today. AJ's going to jump in for the snake draft of the week while he post-produces Judd's hockey show right now. Brand new YouTube channel, almost at 2,000 subscribers. So go check that out. If you're a hockey fan. Let me pop this up here without crashing this plane. Okay, you guys can see this, right?
We can see it.
PFF simulator.
Nice.
So we're going to be the Vikings, obviously. Let me go full screen on this.
Last night, Phil, I was in the Dallas airport getting some dinner, and I had a couple hours to kill. I did a mock draft where I think I completed 20 trades.
Is that the one you put on Twitter?
Yes.
Because I scrolled past it and I was like, boy, it looks like Thor did a lot of trades on this mock draft. There's I'd see one player being drafted and then 16 scenarios in there.
It was an utter absurdity. The end when PFF, they show you your results and they put the trades in there as well. When it was coming out, it literally was like a biblical scroll how long it got with all the different trades I was making.
Love it.
Actually, you know what? Before we go into this mock draft, I want to ask you a quarterback question real quick because the news came out yesterday. I mean, we have seen this coming down the pipeline. Kirk Cousins is going to be released by the Falcons by March 13th, just the way that they finagled the cap. And there's been a couple different and this has also gone back to when Anthony Richardson and Kevin O'Connell embraced on the field and KOC gave him a pep talk, whatever. You can't justify this. If you could pick, so it's J.J. McCarthy and then your other main QB in the room, and you get only two choices, and it's the extremes. 38-year-old Kirk Cousins or mid-20s, still a project, Anthony Richardson.
I would go with Cousins. I don't see it, if the whole thing is we have to get a viable insurance policy because of the injury concerns to the young quarterback the first couple of years, I don't see how Anthony Richardson is an appropriate answer to, response to that. What has he shown on an NFL field? And by the way, what has this coaching staff done to prove that they can fix mechanical issues or any of the on a young quarterback? Nothing, literally nothing. If there was the Vikings might have one of the last staffs in the NFL that I would choose to try to reclaim Anthony Richardson, the issues that he has. It's the stuff that the Vikings coaching staff apparently isn't interested in getting down there and helping young quarterbacks with. Kirk Cousins, the guy that's already learned it, and we've already seen him once in the system and everything like that. That would be my preference. Also with Richardson, I think you have to trade draft equity a little bit because he's under contract for one more year. Whereas Cousins, he's at the end, obviously. I've heard that he'll look around, but is he going to keep playing next year? We'll have to see. I don't know that is decided quite yet.
He's pretty good. He's pretty good on TV.
CBS, Matt Ryan's chair.
Kirk Cousins is outstanding on TV.
Yeah.
He absolutely can still play. I'm not trying to push Kirk Cousins out of the NFL. That guy is really good on TV. And it really, like, us at home watching on Sundays, it's a real difference when the guy, there's nothing to be said, whereas the guys that add legitimate value in the TV booth, like your experience watching all of us watch on Sundays like all day long, and having good commentary like really, really helps you out. That's what I'm with Cousins, but with this question, for sure, I would take Cousins. It's a better insurance policy next year, and again, I don't trust the Viking coaching staff to fix Anthony Richardson.
How absolutely incredible is what you just said, which we talked about yesterday as well. So you're right, but how incredible. 1 year after Darnold and all of the reclamation stuff, we are now saying, I don't really trust these guys with a certain style of, a young QB who has accuracy problems. A year ago, we were talking about, hey, bring everyone in who's got a problem, and KO will lay hands on the guy, much like a saint or an apostle. He'll just like, and then they're all fixed. Exactly.
Yeah, they don't want to teach acting class. They want guys that have already gone through that and are just going to read their lines off the script, right? KO doesn't want to get down there and then have to explain.
Tight budget, Thor. It's a tight budget, okay?
We need you to read the cue card.
Read the cue card. Do not ad-lib that line. That's not what we do here.
He wants the polished guy already off the line. And then, of course, you can read my script and, all this different stuff. But, yeah, the development of it is the thing. When they prove they can do it with the first one, it will be the first one we've seen.
Yeah, I think we kind of landed, Judd, in the same spot where there's a certain level of accuracy inherently that you have to be at even to, like, improve upon it in the NFL. And to this point, Anthony Richardson is far below that. McCarthy, when he doesn't have hand issues, and in college, like, the accuracy wildly different between at every level, even though, like, percentage-wise, McCarthy had a low completion percentage. Some of that was due to injury. But I feel like you can only have, like, one young guy who needs some mechanical fixes on the team at a time. And if you're a team if you're the Steelers or somebody and you don't have a development quarterback really on your roster, like, go get an Anthony Richardson and bring a veteran in. But I would also lean toward 38-year-old Cousins unless he decides to go work at CBS.
If McCarthy gets hurt, who do you want to put in? That's my question. And my response is I'd rather take the veteran who especially knows the system. I don't need KO's attention to be split. I need his attention on McCarthy. Unless you're going to give up on – now, if you were to punt on McCarthy and now it's Richardson, I guess that's a different scenario. But I very much want – because you could be a playoff team, right? So if McCarthy gets hurt, I do not want you being like, okay, here's what we're going to do next. I don't need that. Cousins can play in your system, in your structure, and most importantly, too, for all of you who are saying we're crazy, I'm guessing he's not that expensive.
Yeah.
Like he's not breaking the bank. That's the difference.
Yeah. All right, back to our regularly scheduled 7-round mock draft exercise here. All right, boys. Let's get into this thing here. We'll choose Vikings, 7 rounds. We'll start with the slow speed, and we can kind of ramp it from there. Thor, I'm gonna start the draft, and you tell me, do you want me to stop at a few picks before and explore a trade up, or just get to 18 right away and see what happens?
Just get to 18.
All right, we'll go fast turbo speed, and here we go. Fernando Mendoza, the number 1 pick to the Raiders. Vikings on the clock at 18 here. I'll give you a look, Thor, and for the YouTube audience, you can see all these names on the screen. For the Apple, Spotify audio audience, we will walk you through this. Jeremiah Love, man, up to 4 to the Titans here. Super interesting.
Yeah, first cornerback off the board at 7 there. It seemed like the corners in this one going a little bit earlier. At Delane at 12 then.
Ohio State linebackers going there. Yeah, and then Delane at 12 to the Cowboys.
And then Terrell right before ours.
A little run on interior defense there. So with the Vikings on the clock at 18, I'll give you a scroll through some of the top available players according to the PFF mock here. Keldrick Falk, the edge from Auburn. Spencer Fano?
Fano, yeah.
Tackle from Utah. Denzel Boston, the wide receiver.
Yeah, keep going lower for me.
Little Caden McDonald.
For me here, this would be Boston, Sadiq, or Concepcion with the way that it's fallen. You can't take a defensive back here because of what's gone above you in this spot. This is Caden McDonald. It's a little early for me to take just a run only the run defending interior defensive lineman. So I would be between one of those 3 skill guys in terms of where the value is on the board. This would, of course, depend on what has happened with Jordan Addison, what has happened with T.J. Hawkinson, what has happened with Jalen Naylor.
GM Judd, let's say they keep Addison, and let's say they cut Hawkinson. Is that fair?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I mean that would be the scenario where I would be comfortable taking Sadiq. I would like to do it after a short trade down, but this is right around the area that he is going to go in.
We do have 5 offers if you'd like.
26 is probably going to be too low. We'd probably, and that's fine. I mean, we could miss out on Sadiq. I like the day 2 tight ends, and I've mentioned my trepidations about Sadiq, but with where the board is right now, in the scenario that you just said, then I would probably lean Sadiq. If Addison is back, Hawkinson is gone, and this is the board as it sits here. Not a great draw for the Vikings in this moment with the cornerbacks as low as they've gotten here. Phil, show me the one other position I want to see is interior defensive line. Just to see if the guys we were just talking about, Caleb Banks, Lee Hunter.
Lee Hunter from Texas Tech there.
Yeah, Lee Hunter. You know what, Phil? Scrap what I just said. Let's take a trade back because I want to get Lee Hunter. I've just decided.
Because I was also going to ask you too before we make this pick. I'm definitely, if Hawkinson's gone, and McCarthy is slated to be the likely starter. You need another pass catching tight end on this team, so I'm all for it. But I would also urge our de facto front office here to think beyond just the positions of need. And so I'll ask you about offensive tackle from Utah, for example. I know there's not maybe an immediate need or Caden Proctor from Alabama. It might not seem like they immediately need an offensive tackle, but Brian O'Neill only has 1 year left on that deal, and you'll probably work something out before the draft. But are there any positions that aren't an obvious current need that you would have here, these players ranked well above Sadiq, but we're leaning towards Sadiq because it's more of an immediate need, if that makes sense?
For the Vikings, I think the offensive tackle is a position like that would fit the designation of what you're talking about, where that could be the under the radar earlier kind of a pick with in mind that Brian O'Neill, the age that he has gotten to, and then last year the health with Christian Darrisaw, and when Christian Darrisaw was on the field last year, he was kind of mid. Right.
He was. Yeah.
And we're hoping he's healthy next year and Christian Darrisaw shows back up again. But because of that, tackle could be a need. Yeah. To the question of Fano against Proctor, the Vikings would be way more interested in Fano because of their scheme. Proctor is the big hammer kind of a guy. You think for Viking fans, think Phil Lodeholt kind of a thing for Proctor going on the right tackle. He'd just be the big hammer guy. Fano is. He's a lither offensive lineman, extremely athletic, though. That's the thing with him. Play strength, you sometimes are concerned about with Fano, but zone run blocking scheme, he's going to get out there. He's going to hit his destination every single time. He has really good feet on the boundary. So I think they would probably be more interested in him As far as those two guys.
So we trading back here?
I think we trade back and take Lee Hunter. Caleb Banks is gone before this, and that's fair. He started the pre-draft process well, like I mentioned at the Senior Bowl. And if Caleb Banks goes and tests really well at the Combine next month, he won't be available here. So I agree with that. Lee Hunter, though, the ascendance for Lee Hunter has just begun. We're going to be able to get him later on in the first in this exercise. Once you get to late April, the last Thursday night of April, will the 18th pick be seen as totally acceptable for Lee Hunter, or will Lee Hunter not even be there when the 18th pick gets there? This kid is really good. I think he's rated too low here by PFF, and I think he is a fit for the Vikings.
So the trade here with the Bills would be going back 8 spots, and according to the PFF trade math, we could ask for their 60th overall pick, a late second, and it says a 65% chance to be accepted here, Thor.
Can we toss a 166 from their side?
Let's bleed them here.
Yeah, let's do it.
53%. Let's try that, and then we can scale back if needed. All right, it's a no on that one. If we just take that off to 20, back to a 63%. Let's try that. And there it is. The Buffalo Bills are on the clock. Soon the Vikings will
All right, Lee Hunter. Come on, fall down to us.
Okay, so we're back on the clock and there's Sadiq. Actually, Sadiq almost fell to 26. He goes to the Browns at 24. And then both tackles we talked about, plus the wide receiver from Washington, Denzel Boston. So that puts the Vikings back on the clock with the 26th pick, and we're going, if I could scroll and find him here, Lee Hunter from Texas.
Man, we
Tech.
could even do one more trade down potentially.
Let's do it. Let's see what the offer is. We have one offer. Oh no, I think it's the Cowboys back to 112. What are they? No.
that might be.
If you want, dude, if you wanted to, we could trade up from 49.
Yeah. Okay, so what we could do here now, we're going to change the scenario, but if Addison or like whatever, I love Concepcion as a prospect. He's the lightning in the bottle kind of a guy. And he would certainly be a fit for this slot here at 26. Are the Vikings going to go receiver early? Heavily dependent, obviously, on what happens with Jordan Addison. But here, we could think about taking Concepcion here, then trying to trade up just a little bit from that second pick that we acquired and try to go out and get Lee Hunter.
I'll tell you guys why I think even if they keep Addison through the draft here and through 2026, why a wide receiver would not be out of bounds. Number one, Addison's not going to be signed to a long-term contract, almost certainly. So whether he's gone this spring or this summer, or whether he's gone before the trade deadline or in a year from now, your wide receiver 2 spot's going to be open. I would say Jalen Naylor with the Vikings cap situation is likely to sign somewhere else unless you trade Jordan Addison in the next few weeks. And also, Kevin O'Connell would prefer to run 11 personnel with 3 wide receivers more than almost any team in the league. He kind of scaled that back, and that might be a battle and a tug of war with McCarthy as the quarterback. But I don't think it's really out of line to say that if a wide receiver they love kind of drops into their lap and maybe they've traded back and picked up some extra capital, I don't think this is a wild idea.
I don't think it is either. And the Vikings, can they keep both Addison and Naylor? I find it hard to believe that they could. And
probably not. No.
At that point, we know that they're going to play 3 wide receiver sets. Who are you playing out there with your third one?
But
Ty Felton, your gunner?
Well, that's a whole different story too. On Hunter, though, do we think by the time the draft rolls around that he will go top 18?
I think there's a shot. I think he has a real shot.
I think we should take him here. If you think he's rising that much and we want him, I think we take him here because that's probably much more of a realistic thing than where things stand now.
But Judd, they're going to be so punitive to us on the grid.
Yeah, Judd, are you gonna be pissed when we get a C- from
They're going to give us an
automated
F.
grading
They're going to say
system?
that we reached on Lee Hunter.
It's PFF though, but here's the problem: they've allowed him to fall so far.
Yeah.
That their error is actually the F.
Totally.
So PFF is wrong. So I don't care what our
agreed.
grade is. I think that we should grab a guy who you think is skyrocketing up to reflect how the draft will probably fall.
And if I could justify this myself, what I would suggest to split the difference there is so we can aim for an A+ on the PFF simulator grade. we snag Concepcion as the best player available and a potential position of need, and then we trade back up from 49 into like the 30s or something, or the upper 40s, and then grab Lee Hunter there.
I like this.
Okay, Judd, you've been outvoted here by your own front office.
Yeah, well, I think we need to stop caring what the grade is, because the grade's wrong.
The PFF.
The grade is
Yes. The PFF grade is consistently wrong. This is merely a means for Thor's playground, but but my personal preference is to do it like it's really going to be, and unfortunately, PFF falls behind really quickly. Like, that's the one bad thing about their entire draft process. They're always like 2 weeks behind Thor.
Big Bear 7347 says, all caps, "You clowns are worse than Quasi."
Well, we are
and
getting
Grigson."
cute. Well, this is getting cute. We are getting cute. I will agree with that. I hate being cute.
Okay, so let's just get cute this one time, and then going forward, we will abide by what you're saying. Is that okay? Just this one last time, Judd.
All right. Okay, but after this, no more being cute.
Okay, so we're taking the wide receiver from Texas A&M, Concepcion, and I'm gonna kind of slow cook this into, like, because the Vikings we have the 49th pick, so let's get it to like 40, and then pause it and see what happens. All right, right here. Okay, so Lee Hunter is still sitting out there.
Yeah.
It doesn't let us see the available players. If we wanted
Let's
to move
offer to
up
the
here,
Bengals. Yeah, 41. So we'll go try 49. Yeah, maybe that 97.
the 161 would be a 62% chance.
Oh, yeah. I'll offer that. I'm down with that.
Okay, we'll offer the trade. And look at that, Judd. We're back on the clock. We're
back on the clock.
Split the difference.
Yep. Yeah, and we got cute again, just like 2022.
That's okay.
Then
Yeah,
we
let's
pick up
take him.
Lee Hunter, the 6'4", 330-pound mastodon from Texas Tech.
Yeah,
to help clog things up.
This guy's great. You have the 330-pounder, and then that quickness to get into the backfield. Would Brian Flores? He prefers those chaotic hunter type guys getting in. No pun intended here, but getting into the backfield, shooting those gaps, as opposed generally to the occupier guy. Maybe a part of the reason that Harrison Phillips ended up getting shipped out. Mm-hmm. So I think whether it's Lee Hunter, whether it's Caleb Banks, those guys are going to be of great interest to the Vikings.
Before we get to the rest of the deep dive here, this 7-round post-Senior Bowl mock draft and some other fun things on Purple Daily here, MSP Plumbing, Heating, and Air is helping to power this edition of Purple Daily, Judd.
They indeed are. And you know what, folks? If you're thinking about replacing your heating and cooling system, now is the perfect time to do it. For a limited time, and this is almost up because it's going to change in February, customers who purchase a qualifying HVAC system will receive wild tickets on your friends at MSP. You'll also get a $100 gift card to spend at the arena. Just make sure to mention my name or Score North to qualify for tickets. That's going to give you an HVAC system, wild tickets, and probably most importantly, a peace of mind that your home is covered. A true hat trick of comfort. Schedule your free estimate today by calling MSP 651-615-4292 or check out their website at callmsp.com. Tickets are limited. Again, the website, callmsp.com.
Hey, if you're looking for a great idea for a gathering, maybe for the big game coming up, all right? It's a big game in like a week and
Huge
change.
game. Enormous.
Dickey's Barbecue Pit in Eagan caters for any size group you have, and they will deliver it right to your door. So imagine all you have to do is just go to their website, dickeys.com, or 866 barbecue, all spelt out. You can get out in front of this. Beef brisket, pulled pork. Imagine an afternoon and an evening. Chicken, ribs, spicy cheddar sausage, pit smoked wings for all of your friends and football-loving family a couple Sundays from now. Let Dickey's handle it for your big game gathering. Again, that's 866 barbecue or dickeys.com. Dickey's Barbecue in Eagan. And shout out to the Canopy Group as well, Judd, for coming along for the ride today.
Yep, and they are an in-state based independent insurance company that has your best interest in mind, much like that sports executive, that guy drafting consistently on the lookout for the best talent available. The Canopy Group does the same for you when it comes to getting the best insurance coverage at the best price. What they do is they work with 16 groups of top-tier companies to make sure that you have the best insurance roster for auto, home, health, and business. And when it is up for renewal, you're going to hear from the Canopy Group because they want to make sure that your roster remains the best it can possibly be and also saves you money. For information, give them a call, 1-800-967-3389, or check out their website at thecanopygroup.com. Thecanopygroup.com has your best interest in mind.
I want a mock.
Okay, back to the PFF simulator here. Let's lock this in. Okay, we're back on the clock here, Thor, with the 60th overall pick, and to this point, we've snagged the Texas A&M wide receiver Casey Concepcion and the massive interior defensive lineman Lee Hunter from Texas Tech. 60th pick is on our plates right now.
Yeah, good start so far. Yeah, let's get a scroll down there and see what we got on the board.
The other Notre Dame running back, Jadarian Price, hanging out there.
Like Jadarian Price, like Connor Liu. There's our boy Big Citrus, but we already took Lee Hunter, so we're not gonna.
Is this a spot for a center here?
Potentially, yes. Potentially, yes.
Okay.
We also looking at tight ends here?
Yeah.
Tight end will be in play as well.
Okay. Yeah, what's in play here, do you think?
Yeah,
Positional.
So secondary, looking at that, both of the positions we haven't hit yet. Center, certainly, running back, linebacker. After that, maybe we could talk about like a swing tackle, offensive line depth, stuff like that. There's Jonah Coleman. Phil, toss up the secondary positions for me.
Yeah, hold on a second here.
We might be able to wait on center for a pick.
Okay.
We always do have Connor Liu here, though, sort of as a backup option. I don't think I'm going to take a running back here. We still have pretty good depth at that position. I like Dalen Everett from Georgia enough, as far as a boundary cornerback would have a shot to start early. Phil, can you give me a quicker scroll down there?
Mm-hmm.
Malik Muhammad's okay. Bud Clark had a really good Senior Bowl. The top safeties, unfortunately, we have missed out on that grouping. The guys of Thieneman, McNeil Warren, and AJ Halsey. To me, there's a big drop when it gets to Kamari Ramsey. I'm not interested in Kamari Ramsey. So we're not going to take this safety. I think here I might be leaning. I'm probably between Everett and then Connor Liu. I don't love that we haven't gotten secondary yet. So that that's why I was sort of thinking that. That's probably the way that I would lean because I like the centers that are still out here. So potentially we could wait a little bit longer on that, whereas it's going to start to get hairy with the cornerback position here pretty quick.
Okay. If you want to, should we go Dalen Everett, the cornerback from Georgia here?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Come on down. Welcome to the Brian Flores experience. Back on the clock in the third round with the 82nd overall pick, Jonah Coleman, that running back from Washington, just went. There's Trinidad Chambliss, the Ole Miss quarterback, to the Colts at 78. How about
the center still there?
My boy Jennings Dunker. Connor Liu had to have gone. He had to have gone right after I assume.
Let's see here. Connor Liu. He went 69th to the Texans, and then the Florida center came off the board. Jake Slaughter to the Bengals there as well. So here's what's left right now.
I got a mind to take Jennings Dunker right here and just assume that he has proven the rest of the pre-draft process that he can play center. This guy's awesome. Jennings Dunker's Phil, pull up his PFF stats right there. I mean, just look at the last couple of years, what he's done on the field.
Love it.
And I'm not going to – I mean, this guy is a worker. I'm not going to put it past him to be able to kick inside. So maybe we just take Jennings Dunker. I think Jennings Dunker has a shot to go at the end of the first round.
Wow.
We're in the third round here, so
we're going for it.
Big
old Iowa farm boy.
If nothing else, he's gonna give you a Pro Bowler at guard. If he couldn't handle the tackle thing, he's gonna give you really good depth at right tackle as well. But yeah, like he says, he's the center thing. And we'll see the rest of the process, but we're just going to give him the benefit of the doubt there.
Do we like Sam Hecht at all here? Who's the?
Well, we just took our.
Yeah, we just took our.
Oh, you're going to move him to center.
We are moving Jennings Dunker to center. Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah.
But he also is versatile enough to maybe be I mean, his worst case scenario there could be like a Blake Brandel for your
Yeah, he's given us
utility
versatility and depth for sure.
Okay.
Positions left here: safety, running back, linebacker. Would be
Don't
the
we
top
have to
three.
snag Carson Beck here just to fill the
Absolutely
over
not.
0.5 INT quota?
Absolutely not. We're not taking Carson back here.
He's like 42 now, right?
Why do they rank him 91st? I bumped into Trevor yesterday or the day before in Mobile. I didn't know he had Carson Beck that high. I would have asked him about it. Trevor Sycamore from PFF. Yeah.
So positions of need here, by the way, I would say tight end still in the mix for us. Safety, running back, linebacker, all very much.
I forgot tight. So tight end, safety, running back, linebacker are the four I would say right now, right?
Yep. And so we have a gap here too. We're picking 97th, and then we don't have another pick until 195. So this is an important one here.
Phil, pull up that trade. I want to see the offer.
It's moving back to the 167.
Yeah, we're not going to do that.
Who's
either.
the best
Okay.
tight end right now?
Yeah, Phil, toss tight
think?
end, safety, running back, linebacker up there for me.
1 second here. Okay. Tight end, running back, safety, and then let me throw the linebackers in here too for you. Boom. There we go.
Yeah, and we'll just scroll down. Not interested in McGowan. Sam Roush had a decent week down here. I don't know that I'll take him, but he's of interest. Bud Clark, like I said, had a really, really good week. I like Genesis Smith as well, looking at the safeties. I'm sorry, not Katron Allen. Nicholas Singleton is a really good stylistic fit with Jordan Mason, so that's another guy we would be monitoring here. A fabulous athlete who's a really good receiver. Keep going.
The comments are on fire right now.
Okay, I think that's, yeah. I'm thinking Bud Clark maybe here.
Okay. Safety Bud Clark from TCU. I'll just pull up his stats. He had a nice little 89.8 PFF grade 2 years ago, 80.4 last year. Has played several hundred snaps in the slot, in the box. So kind of that versatile.
Yeah, he moves around quite a bit, and maybe the argument would be his game's too similar to Metellus's, but it's a guy that moves. You can move all around there in the box and safety, play a bunch of different roles. Very, very active, instinctual, Bud Clark. So trying to improve that safety room after we had missed out on sort of the top grouping. We were going to have to take either Bud Clark or Genesis Smith, or it's going to be a big drop off after that. The running backs, we'll see what it ends up being now here after our big sort of delay here. What that ends up being, but there's going to be better. Oh man, Cage Casey's still there.
That's your boy. You interviewed him on Thor Talks Purple this week down at the Senior Bowl.
My boy, and the tackle guy, again trying to prove I can guard, can play center. So the versatility there, and the Vikings, you're not only trying to improve starting lineup, of course, but with offensive line, you have to improve the depth.
Let's get him. Let's get
Cage Casey.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like you bring in those two guys, now you're feeling much, much better about your depth as well. The rest of these picks here, running back, linebacker, are top of the needs here, and then tight end as well.
Let me pull those up for you. And we have a handful of picks here, and we can get to our snake draft too, which is it's not football players, it's food side dishes. In a minute, we can kind of fly through these, but here's the halfbacks, the linebackers, and the tight ends.
Keep
Robert
scrolling down
Henry
for me.
From UTSA, Roman Hemby from Indiana.
A name that I'm interested in here is the Oregon linebacker Bryce Boucher. This guy's really smart and instinctive, and he had he's having a really good Senior Bowl week as well. He's not going to wow you because the athleticism on him is not as good as some of these other linebackers, but a really, really smart player who's good at tackling.
Let's grab
So
him.
let's take him. We'll address the linebacker thing.
And then we're back on the clock with the 202. So here's all of the players available, and there's a couple running backs on top, and then all sorts tight end and running back specifically. So you can see these guys.
Yeah, and then just give me a scroll down.
By the way, totally different subject, but Derek Falvey out with the Minnesota Twins, so we'll get to that at some point.
Oh,
That's kind of huge. Any tight ends? And my guy Eli Heidenreich, the fullback from Navy, is lurking right there too.
You like Heidenreich?
I just want to keep the fullback lineage alive.
Guy that I might advocate for here is Riley Nowakowski from Indiana. Listed at tight end. He really, though, more of fullback, H-back kind of a guy. And thinking about C.J. Ham leaving, Riley Nowakowski was on the national title winning team, but Indiana's offense, they did a whole bunch of different stuff with him, moving him around the formation. You can have him as a lead blocker. You can have him as a seal-off guy, but also a skilled receiver. So I think as far as addressing, this would be more about addressing C.J. Ham's retirement, but Riley Nowakowski is a prospect that I like.
Love that. Okay, back on the clock at the 2:20 here. And I would say linebacker and running back are definitely still positions of need here for us as we comb through this. Although we did get linebacker from Oregon guys. So
yeah, so running back here, right?
Yeah, let's do running
back. Probably want to hit. Kalen Black runs hard. I like his instincts, but he's not great as a receiver. So that's where it breaks apart for me as far as a fit with the Vikings, thinking about him with Jordan Mason. Keep scrolling down, Phil. We got to find a guy who can catch. Noah Whittington might be the best of that. Noah Whittington or Dean Connors. Noah Whittington, he was always sort of a complimentary back in college, but he's a good complimentary back. That's what he would sort of profile as in the NFL. Dean Connors, I think, is a little bit better of an athlete than he gets credit for, and he breaks tackles. He can catch. We'll have to see how he ends up testing. That's going to inform whether he can get it. He can slip into the end of day 3 here or not.
Okay.
I think I'm going to be between those. Phil, just go down a little bit more, see who else. Oh, there's Adam Randall, who I kind of crapped on a couple days ago in our show. Yeah, let's do Noah Whittington here.
Noah Whittington from Oregon. Come on down. You are a Minnesota Viking.
I know he can play on passing down, so that's what we're going to do. Yeah. Altmaier, the top guy on the board there, has arguably been one of the best quarterbacks, or might be the best quarterback that was at the Senior Bowl. He doesn't have many physical attributes, but it's a scrambler guy who's smart and he plays on time. At his podium session in Mobile on Wednesday at the luncheon, he was talking about how he views himself as an efficiency monster. You know, it's just following the script, getting the ball out on time. O'Connell might be interested in him as a backup option. I don't know how married they are to Max Brosmer, but if they wanted, you have a whole bunch of picks here, you might bring in competition there. So Altmaier could be of interest for that.
Let's do it. And then the final pick at
or as they call him, Goldmeier.
I love that.
Man, Heidenreich.
We're taking Heidenreich.
Okay, let's do it.
An executive decision.
This is a Phil pick here.
Okay, here's our grade. This is great. Let's see what PFF thinks.
They better give us credit for maneuvering around the board.
We'll see. Okay, here we go, Judd. This is what we're in the business of. A pluses. Only a B on the Concepcion. A C minus on the
C minus.
Yeah, you see there. A D minus. A B minus. Yeah. Yeah. You see, we can't be concerned about the grade. I'm telling you.
That is unbelievable. This is a haul, Judd.
We've got a grade based on what we think.
Yeah, that was a haul. I don't know.
Judd, before we get to a couple other things here live on the live Friday edition of Purple Daily, Mystic Lake. We've come to have a couple great events there at Mystic Lake, and looking forward to doing some more in the future too.
Yep, and let's talk about the place where those events took place, and that is the Hop House, because the Hop House is, let's just say this, if you're a sports fan, it's where you have to be. It might be to watch the big game, but you know what? If you want to watch 3 or 4 games, it's perfect as well. They've got a ton of TVs. All those TVs are on games. There is nothing better than going to a sports bar where they know what they're doing with the remote controls, and the Hop House is a place where that happens on a regular basis. No questions about if games are going to be on. Also, enjoy some great food, some great craft cocktails and drinks as well. Mystic Lake at the Hop House. And by the way, if you want to make a weekend of it, you can stay at Mystic Lake and enjoy all of the great things that go on there. Just check out mysticlake.com to book your weekend, mysticlake.com.
Also, shout out to Federated Insurance. Federated, been around for over 100 years. One of the most credible and helpful insurance companies in America, based in Minnesota, but with roots in all 50 states. They specialize in working with small to medium-sized businesses, and they are here also to help if you are a relatively new or next-generation business owner as well. So you can find a full list of industries that they service at federatedinsurance.com, where it's our business to protect yours. All right, boys, before we get to a snake draft of the week here, I do want to throw out this Purple Daily Anonymous tip line email here. We did promise it, and let's spend a couple minutes on this. And I will preface this. This is the third year of the Purple Daily Anonymous tip line. It does not bat 1,000, but it does not bat 0. So if you have a friend whose neighbor's cousin has information that we need to know, the Vikings public needs to know about the Vikings, you can send it in. You can email the show through the feedback tab in the Score North app. And this is for entertainment purposes only, but sometimes the Purple Daily Anonymous tip line gets it right. So I'm gonna throw this out from Anonymous. I have no clue if this email will find you guys. Would like to be kept anonymous. I played professional baseball and have strong connections throughout pro sports. This perspective comes from a trainer I trust who has worked with elite athletes across multiple leagues. He heard through a family friend of McCarthy. So this is an anonymous emailer who knows a trainer who talked to someone who may have talked to McCarthy. As credible as you can get, folks. That the reported high ankle sprain was maybe not all that it was dragged out to be. And that we should be sniffing around for the hand injury to have happened potentially earlier in the season. Not something that necessarily prevented him from playing some games. But from a football standpoint, the emailer continues, the ankle explanation doesn't fully add up. If the issue were truly a high ankle sprain, how does it make sense that he was spending time with KOC working on mechanics? That type of work would be extremely limited with a legitimate high ankle injury during that period. A compromised throwing hand, however, explains far more. Inconsistent command throughout the season, immediate problems once he returned to practice, and even the one-day appearance of a hand covering at practice that was never fully explained. Because of that context, I'm not ready to give up on him. Playing an entire season with a bad hand would affect any quarterback's accuracy if that's what he was dealing with. Indeed. Sincerely, Anonymous. Is it possible the hand injury was maybe more of an issue throughout a lengthier portion of the season? Does it help explain some of the weird inaccuracies?
Well, my impression is that the hand injury was suffered against the Ravens, I believe, on November 9th.
For sure. It was for sure. Yes.
Yeah. And then
that
he never shook that. And then, when it's against the Giants, then would have been 6 weeks later or so, was December 21st. That's when I think the official fracture happens, when he hits it on Roy Robertson Harris's helmet. But yeah, my impression was that he was fighting through the hand injury from the November 9th game against the Ravens.
Yeah.
I guess my question is, why would you hide that? Like, he was hurt regardless. So like, what would be the incentive to, and just for clarification too, if they did, you're going to pay a nice fine because you've got to tell the league. Like that needs to be put out there.
Yeah.
But I don't understand why you would, if like, let's say he hit a helmet against the Falcons, but then he legitimately sprained his ankle. Why would you hide it? Like, he's hurt.
Well, because they want to get him back on the field. I mean, he said before the last game, a meaningless game, that what was his pain on 9 heading into that game, when it seemed like he was maybe, I don't want to say against his will, but it was kind of, get out there and play, and he had a fractured hand. So it would seem to be in deference of keeping him on the field, irregardless.
But he couldn't play. He missed 5 games, I believe, after the Falcons game. So my question is, why would you hide that at that time when he's hurt? My observation was he could have played after 3 games. They held him out 2 more games. But when you're the emergency QB, that means you can play. And they're like, oh, he's still hurt too much. And my thing was, okay, they don't trust him yet to play. But I guess, Phil, what I'm curious about is why do we think that they would hide the hand? Because it wasn't like he was playing and they're like, the hand is fine. He was legitimately missing time. So I guess I don't get what the incentive would be to sort of lie about that and say it's just the ankle. I'd be confused by that.
I don't know. I mean, maybe Anonymous can send some more information here. I would say two things from my own perspective. The working on mechanics while dealing with a high ankle sprain felt fishy and weird in the moment. It just felt weird. Like, also working on mechanics in the middle of a season, then moving off that. They were very quick to move off that. Then a few weeks later, it all felt kind of weird. Mm-hmm. And also, he threw the football for large chunks of the season like a guy who had a physical issue with his hand. Like some of the inaccuracies, you could say, well, like he's flying open a little bit. I mean, Thor can vouch for this. Some of the inaccuracies did not line up with what you saw in college with him. So it was just, there was some weird stuff there with the inaccuracies. We'll see. I mean, he's got the full off season to get healthy now, and it sounds like they're going to give him a shot to show some things. But that's the Purple Daily Anonymous tip line. If you have information that needs to be brought to the attention of the Purple Daily audience, the tip line is always open here. Boys, let's get our guy AJ Fredrickson in here, the statistical keeper of the snake draft of the week. Let's see here. Can we go? There we go. We'll go.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
Age, nice.
Welcome in, Age. What do you got for some statistics for us before we dive into this week's theme?
Yeah, well, it's been 2 weeks since the last snake draft. That was the Actors That Ruin a Movie snake draft. And Judd ran away with that one with the team of Kevin Hart, Amy Schumer, and Channing Tatum. 64.7% of the vote for his 26th all-time career leading win. He now moves to 26 for 77, batting .338 in his career. Phil, with the loss, you are batting .319, 22 for 69. Remains perfect from his initial win. Vikings 2026 New Year's resolutions. Very controversial, very close voting, but 35.9% vote. Declan continues to drop, batting .284. He's now 3 for 14 after the birth of his son. You gotta wonder.
Just really struggling.
Really struggling. But yeah, that is where we're at. And today's draft is best side food options. So you order a meal. What are you getting as the side? That sort of, I guess, category. I was going to ask you all, do you want to go, like, so I imagine somebody's going to draft French fries. Does that cover all French fries, or is there specific?
Nope.
I think you got to be niche.
All right.
You don't get to just own the whole category.
Yeah, you can't just own potatoes. I got
Yeah, because you'd own potatoes then. Yeah. And that's just a bunch of crap. There's so many good starches.
Yeah. Yeah, there are. I mean, I'm curious how many starches are on Judd's big board here. I guess we'll probably have to find out.
Almost all.
So we're gonna give Thor the number one overall pick here because he is undefeated and he's kind of jumping into the fray. And then it'll be Judd, AJ. I rounded out with the wraparound. It'll be a 3-round snake draft, 12 picks overall. The what do you order as a top side option snake draft? And Thor, the pressure's on. Who is your Fernando Mendoza?
It's not with this pick. We do have a Fernando Mendoza obvious selection here. I just have to do it. Getting the first pick. I'm the Raiders of this draft. We will be taking French fries with the 1-1 pick.
Nice. So just like kind of regular traditional. Yeah, we need to specify a
curly fries,
like a regular plain French
Champs fries with the old Champs sauce.
You're really going to come in right behind me, and then you'll say curly fries, and then Judd will say.
Well, yeah,
I mean, regular French fries. Regular French fries.
Regular French, the classic French fries.
Okay.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's fair. Okay, right. Judd, you're on the clock here.
Well, I mean, if he's going to take classic, I will take the curly fries.
Wow.
Wow, curly fries. Right
unbelievable.
I love curly fries. Back in the day, man. Oh, I love those curly fries.
We got the early run on fries here. Who's going to stop it? AJ's on the clock.
I feel like I also have to go with a potato, but I'm not going to go with a fry. I'm going to go tater tots. Give me tater tots.
It's number one on my big board there.
Like like you order a
good
crispy
call.
chicken wrap and then you get that on
Yeah.
the side, tater tots. Oh,
Yep, just a bunch of ketchup on it too. Just like take the bottle
Absolutely.
and empty it right on there. Okay, that's good.
Oh, you need that much ketchup. You don't need. What about like a little like aioli side dip? Are you out on that? It's only
I'm fine with
ketchup
that.
for your tots.
No. I get a little ketchup, and then I use. I mean, I can use multiple dips and condiments.
Okay. I'm gonna. You know what? There is a third type of fry that was actually the highest on my big board. So I will take the number one fry with my back-to-back picks here. Give me truffle fries.
Sure.
Truffle fries
Sure.
with the 4th overall pick. And then
This is ridiculous. It's like you guys are like, oh, I'll take Fernando Mendoza afternoon. Or I'll take Fernando Mendoza before 5 p.m.
This is a
After I already freaking
you know what this
selected
is?
him. It's like,
This
AJ,
is
you sure you don't want to change your pick to another fry?
this is the 2027 quarterback draft. It's
I
just
didn't
deep.
know this was repeating Thor's pick snake draft.
It's
I thought
deep.
this was side dish draft.
See, you're missing the
Unbelievable.
point. You're missing the point. It's a deep draft.
I love this. By the way, there are more types of fries on my
yeah.
big board. Okay.
I feel like this is Bubba Gump going through the different kinds of shrimp with this draft.
Yep.
shrimp cocktail, shrimp casserole, shrimp po' boy. Okay, I'm going to change up the
I had a
category
good po'
here.
boy in the airport yesterday.
Dude,
Love those
that's-
po' boys.
That is
down
po' boy
south.
region down there.
Yeah.
100%.
We need to start doing a po' boy. Can we get like walleye po' boy?
Yeah,
Why
I think
not?
we just call it like a sandwich here, though, right? Like it's like
Yeah.
a hoagie.
No, I want that style.
What?
Yeah, you have the
Wait,
long
they
like
make
sub
it.
kind of what do you call it? You know, the long kind of sandwich bread.
Yeah, a hoagie.
Oh, sure.
They just like name it something different. I'm pretty sure, but you know,
What's that? It's bread.
Can I just get like some fish on some bread and fry it up, and I'll put some mayo on it?
Yeah.
Okay, give me side of chili. Side of chili here
Okay.
with the first pick in the
Okay.
in the second round, which brings us back to AJ for his second pick.
I'm gonna go chips and salsa.
Oh wow.
Chips and salsa. Like
Interesting. Yeah.
you go to a Mexican restaurant, you're just shoveling those down. You all of a sudden you're in your third basket.
It's almost like more of an appetizer, but they do offer it as a side, and so
Yeah.
it is within the realm of potential picks here. Okay, Judd.
Can I get chips and guac?
Okay, well, so now we're just gonna go. Now I'm gonna start ranting like Thor. So chips and queso, chips and French onion dip,
Hey, the rules.
chips
I
and
don't make
queso
the
with
rules.
chorizo.
I don't make the rules. I follow the rules.
Chips and just plain chips, I guess. All right, Thor, you get the back-to-backs here.
Big potato salad guy. We're gonna go potato salad here.
Yeah.
Especially outdoors at like a 90-degree picnic with flies covering them, and the salmonella just setting in.
Yeah.
Get
But
it
yeah,
going.
Cookout vibes for sure with the
Oh,
potato.
God, I
You
hate
gotta have some
cookouts.
potato salad.
I hate cookouts. It's just an
hate
invitation
'em?
to get. It's an invitation to get sick.
Why?
Hot
Oh, just with
summer
all this
day,
stuff out?
Yeah, everything's out. A horse that was just in a fly that was just in dog poop now lands on your burger.
I wasn't thinking about it like that.
Now you will for the rest of your life.
Now you should, and you should bail on those cookouts.
The flies right out of the shower.
The flies.
That's right.
Yeah, the flies crawling around the dog crap. 1 second, and then it lands in your potato salad.
Am I back up here?
Yeah, pick something else that a fly has landed on.
Fly, they ain't gonna land on this. I would like to go with this one, garlic bread.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah,
Nice pick.
love me some garlic bread.
Yeah, that's opening up another run where we could go with like you went with the basic. Where there's like garlic cheese bread.
It's a
There's
copycat league.
Texas toast, which is basically garlic bread, and we're calling it something else.
Yeah.
All right, Judd, what's your last pick?
Can I get a side of mac and cheese?
Oh,
Mac and cheese. That was on my board for sure.
That's good. That's a good
Yep.
pick.
Great. That's a good side.
It's a good third round pick, Judd.
Thank
good
you.
value
Yeah,
there.
it's not Ty Felton.
Great value.
It's a gunner. Mac and cheese is a gunner.
You're getting someone out there in the starting lineup.
Potato salad. I like potato salad, but people might view it as the Ty Felton. AJ.
This is tough. There's two I want to go with. I'm gonna go with cheese curds. Give me a side of cheese curds with my
Oh,
burger.
you're going Wisconsin.
Wow.
Yeah, you got Culver's, you get your butter burger. What am I gonna do? I'm gonna upgrade on their. Culver's not that great at fries. As somebody that clearly is a connoisseur.
AJ, did you see Jennings Dunker when he was on with NFL Network folks, the Iowa offensive lineman? They were asking him about Culver's, and someone didn't quite know what Culver's was. The look of offense on Jennings Dunker's face when he's like, "You don't know Culver's? That's a crime."
Culver's,
great.
Culver's is. There's not a lot of stuff on the menu that is bad, but the one weak spot of their lineup is their fries. I feel like you always get it either subbed out for an onion ring or cheese curd or something along those lines.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
that's fair.
All right. So items 2 and 4 are on my big board are still available right now. And I feel like because one of them is a variation of a fry, I can speak freely because this
Phil,
is the last pick.
I eat tuna is what you're gonna say, isn't it?
That's
The
not a
crisp?
side. That's an appetizer.
Yep.
A great appetizer, a great bar appetizer. Sweet potato fries is 4th on my big board, but I already have truffle fries. So I'm going to go onion rings with the last pick
Okay.
here. Mr. Irrelevant.
Yep.
That's a
Onion
great
ring.
pick.
Yeah, it's great. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate
That's
that.
fair.
Real
The ceiling,
quick-
not the highest, but very high floor on onion rings. So you're gonna get your money back on that one.
Yeah. So here's the teams. Thor winds up with just classic French fries, potato salad, and garlic bread. Judd winds up with curly fries, chips and guac, mac and cheese. AJ with tots, chips and salsa, and cheese curds. And I wind up with truffle fries, side of chili, and onion rings here in the sides snake draft. Available voting on the Score North Twitter account here shortly, boys.
I think the one that is just a glaring miss, I think by all of us, is waffle fries with the seasoned sour cream. That's the one that I think we're gonna get hammered for in the comments.
Sure.
Yeah.
I mean, but how many fries can we really do? I mean, we're gonna do every single pick's fries. We just do best iteration of fry.
That sounds like another snake
know what I mean?
draft at some
Next
point.
week.
AJ,
Yeah.
the committee leader here.
Yeah.
Next week. All right. For Thor, by the way, find way more of Thor talking Vikings every day on Thor Talks Purple with AJ. Also, our Football Takes podcast, more of a broad look at all of football things beyond the Vikings. That's a new YouTube channel, too. You guys we're almost to 3,000 subscribers, so thank you. We just launched that a few weeks ago, the Football Takes YouTube channel. And yeah, thanks for hanging out with us here. Purple Daily. We will have a breaking news Score North Twin show within the next couple hours. Derek Falvey out. We will have more Giannis reaction to the rumors of Wolves flirting with Giannis. So keep an eye on the Score North Network of podcasts here. For Thor, for Age, for Judd, I'm Phil, and we just want the Vikings to win a Super Bowl before we die. We'll see you guys next time here. And Age, I think I can land this plane properly.
Okay.
Let's see here. There we go. See you guys.